I think that happens more often than I would admit, because you get exposed to a whole heap of information morning till evening, and there might be opposing data points, and there might be so much of it, and sometimes you're in this position where you have to admit, like, I don't know what to do with this. How do I make something that is structured out of something that seemingly is a heap of chaos? That's where I go for a run. That's where I go for a bike. I tend to dissociate myself for a while from that particular challenge that I'm facing. Try to think about something else, right? Try to get your blood flowing. Try to get your energy back up. And it's amazing how, at least for me, my brain works, that after a moment of reflection, after a moment of, call it mental meandering, you go back and you see patterns in a different way. And as soon as I start seeing patterns, then you start this mental exercise of testing hypothesis. Well, if this is a pattern, then what would be true? And what are pros and cons of that? Then you build scenarios around the patterns that you see. And all of a sudden, you then see different paths forward. And the objective is not for me to come up with the right answer. The objective is for me to create scenarios I can engage other people with. And they will have a discussion with me. They might disagree with me, but that's exactly the point. Because all of a sudden, you're not in a state of perplexed. You're in a state of engaging with other people. And you can start doing trial and error on your intellectual hypothesis to make it better. All of a sudden, you've got data points that you can do additional research around to either corroborate or refute what you were thinking. But it becomes, from a very chaotic state, it becomes a very constructive state, because you've created something that is almost like the original crystal that further developed into the diamond. But the diamond wouldn't develop if you didn't have this initial opportunity, right? And that's what I always try to do in the most complex of environments, in the most complex of projects, or the most of complex business needs. It's trying to find what are these initial crystals that we can find, develop them, grow them, refute them, or corroborate them, and build bigger scenarios out of them. My objective or my goal is to create the first step that I can start pulling from, and the path will reveal itself. And if you reframe your own challenge by looking not at the big picture and I have to fix everything, but actually the first thing that I need to do is fix the first step.
But do you actually, around your office, do you actually take afternoon runs?
Well, there's a rower right here, so you can use that.
That is true.
And occasionally, if I can't do anything, and I've been sitting for a long time, sometime, like a few weeks ago, one of the ladies in the office here was like, "What's that noise?" And then they figured out that it was me on the rower. It's like, nobody ever uses that. And it's like, well, if I have 5 minutes between meetings to get my blood flowing, to get my mind out of all the data and the things, and it just helps, right? And stay fit a bit.
Oh my God.